for my second part of my video. Hopefully you can hear because look, show them, it's just slightly raining, just slightly. It always sounds worse in the caravan than it does anywhere else. So we're continuing with the second part of my video, which is the kitchen and lounge part. Here is the entertainment part. As I said, we have a larger TV, PlayStation 4 because it plays Blu-rays, DVDs. It also allows us to game. Underneath here is where we keep the spirit level, just because as soon as we arrive somewhere we need to check the level of the caravan. And we do actually keep the DVD player in here because normally we take the PlayStation backwards and forwards when we go home and obviously back to the caravan. Up here is what I call our coffee station. So we keep our coffee maker here, our cafeterias here, and also the latte glasses. And again, using one of those retention poles here, just so it's secured because it is actual glass. So we like to keep it so it is safe. So all we then have to do is slide it out and we put it on where the hob is, where we like to make our drinks. I apologise if you couldn't hear me. We're trying to do this in between the rain now, due to the fact that I wanted to get all the organisation videos up ready so I can upload them. So in this cabinet here, that is to put the aerial up on top of the caravan. This is the radio, and this is what goes on when we need the radio on. We just clip that on top of there. Hubby usually leaves his wallet here. That's when especially if he gets it, which is normally why it's always up there. Then in this one here is where I call the snack basket. This is another one of those baskets. I measured it up. I've had it in here now a couple of years. This was originally from B&M, and this just keeps all the crisps in, and it just works out well because it's the right width to put in the cupboard, so it fits in just nicely in here. Right, this next one here, these are very narrow. So this is where we keep any chargers for the phones and everything. In here is hubby's little miniature drone. He keeps that in here, and that is the speaker for the laptop, so I've got decent sound when I'm uploading my videos or want to play back and check the videos. So that's all that there is in that one. That one, I'm not going to open it. It's exactly the same as that one. They're just very small cupboards, so you can't really put a lot in them. And then over on this one, usually I keep this as my sort of bread bin, and I've got my set of Caravan different size boxes in here, Tupperware, so that's those. Keep dishes. We have all actually mostly pottery, just the fact that we prefer it, as in previous caravan we've always had the melamine ones. That's just the ice cube things, but we don't often use those because we usually need the freezer compartment. That's just some spare you know, separators for pottery. Normally when we're traveling they go in between the dishes to stop them rattling. And something that we found really good for actually any small space is these sort of dishes that they expand like so. So really handy and don't take a lot of room. We have actually got a set of 3 of those, but we've only got the one here at the moment. Something that is also pretty good, and I've got one at home, is the cheese grater here, but also it has the cover to go on top of that, the plastic lid. So once you've grated it, if you didn't use it all, you just put the lid on top of that. So that is that. And as I said, what tends to happen is I usually, if I've got bread that either goes in here, or if I've got room in the fridge, I put the bread in the fridge. I've got my cereal there. Usually we have crackers here, and that's just some spare. That's the Twix drinks for the actual coffee maker. So that usually goes in here. But any cakes or bread, we usually use it there, and use that as my top bread bin. In our other caravan, we had a bit more workspace, so we used to have a bread bin. But we've got less sort of workspace here, but we've got a fixed bed, so that's where the room's gone. Now this one is like the drinks cabinet, and when we're traveling, the kettle goes up here as well. We've just got some more coffees for the coffee maker. We've got the sugar, coffee and tea, and I've explained about these before. I got these from Poundland. They hold a substantial amount, which is really good because I don't have to keep topping them up. We used to have the stainless steel ones, but I didn't find those kept them very fresh. At least these are plastic. They are the clip ones, and besides allowing plenty in here to be stored, they are airtight. A lot better than ceramic or stainless steel, especially if we're not using the Caravan from week to week. And then, so I've got those in the coffee, sugar and tea, straws, and then I like to keep 3-in-1s in here for emergencies, or if we go for any picnics. So that is that cupboard. Right, so this is the kitchen part. So we've got the fridge, we've got the oven, the grill, the hob, and I do like to use these toweling drying mats. It's a couple of reasons. It also for drying, but it's also there to save because they're both glass panels, just in case. Before we put the rods across in the cupboards and change the catches, it was handy to put them on in case anything fell on while we was travelling, due to the fact that it is all glass and pottery. We don't have plastic or melamine containers now. So this is the crockery cupboard. It's basically for 4 people. We tend to keep paper plates, napkins, plastic knives and forks, you name it, we've got it. If we do happen to have visitors, if we're stopping anywhere, then and we have barbecue, that's the sort of thing we use. Basically everything is for 4 people. So basically we have the 4 dinner plates, 4 side plates, 4 Caravan mugs, and we have the 4 Pepsi glasses that actually we got for, I think they were 50p each, brand new off a car boot when we was in Cornwall. And then here comes the salt and pepper, then I've got a spoon rest up there, and then tea bag thing there. So that's basically the whole of the crockery. We do have the dishes that I've showed you previously that are in another cupboard, but it's handy because you wash up, dry up, and then they go there, or they go in here, which I'll be showing you next, which is their cutlery. Again, like the bowls, we have the concertina down drying rack. We also have a bucket that's collapsible as well, so it's very handy. You don't necessarily have to, again, I keep saying this, use it for a caravan. If you've got a small space, these concertina things are brilliant. You also can get the laundry bin for this range as well. Right, so this is the small cupboard under the sink. In the top one, it's like knives, forks, spoons, and everything to do with that, including a set for our granddaughter. At the moment, there's no better way of organising this. Very often, especially as I like organising, mostly cutlery just gets thrown in here. Can't have dividers that way because it was just too narrow to get your hands in. I could have a divider that way and just split it twice. I have seen a storage container from Amazon, and it lays flat and it's got slots, so it goes like that. It's like a paper wrap, but obviously on a very tiny scale to slip your knives and forks in, and that's the sort of thing I might be looking at to see whether it actually fits in there. The second drawer has everything else. It's got the gas lighter, pizza slicer, has the temperature gauge for meat, the tongs, scissors, vegetable peeler, you know, frying utensils and things like that. Then the bottom one I like to keep separate, which has got steak knives, and all the different sharp knives are in there. So that one I keep separate. Down the bottom I use another one of these paper racks, paper file things and cardboard. Has like sandwich bags, sacks, pedal bin liners, and then it goes into cling film and tin foil that way. Kitchen rolls there. I have polish wipes, I have leather wipes, and I have floor wipes, and also I have just all-purpose wipes, and that's how I store under the sink. And then where I keep all my saucepans and frying pan is just under there again, so they're not rattling about. Got these dividers so they don't rattle. Right, something else that I sort of said to hubby, and he came up with the idea, is our little shoe rack, because it is a bit of a problem having shoes on the floor, especially if we haven't got the awning up to get in and out of the caravan. So I asked him to come up with something, and this is the idea he came up with, is a little shoe rack. So he actually made this because he's into sheet metal, so he was able to make it, and instead of having anything drilled onto this wood, which I didn't want, we use command strips with these command hooks, and it works out really well. And it's been up quite some time, hasn't it? A couple of years now, hasn't it? So it just helps to put some shoes up here, and in the summer very often they will be in the awning, and we would have flip-flops and that on there instead, but it just keeps shoes off the floor. Right, now the storage in here, I'll just move this bit off because this is where we store extra bedding and everything. So lift that up, and this comes up here. So down here we have everything to do with when we put our flagpole up. That's all the you know, flags and pieces that go on the flagpole. We have an extra pillars there, and then we have storage boxes. We've got them in different sizes, like this one has got, is it just the blanket in this one, or has it got a sleeping bag? It's got a single, is it a single sleeping bag and a blanket in that one. That's obviously part of the bedding for here, and the other part of the bedding is the other side, which I'm going to show you now. And this under here, which is another way of getting in, is the control panel, isn't it, for the fuses and everything. So a bit out of my sort of understanding anything technology wise, so there we are. So say, as you know, and we showed you in the past, this then goes into a double bed. So the other side here, just move all that out of the way, and the cushions, and we can show you this side. So here we are. Under this part we've got the water heater. This is one of those collapsible buckets. We keep stuff there to wipe the caravan on the outside. Also it's got car cleaning stuff and anything, because very often we will probably clean Big Red up while we're somewhere like here where we've got super pitchers, so we've got the water outside a caravan, so that's when we do it. This is a bigger container. Again, we checked the sizes, and we got this one also from the range, and this has a double quilt with the cover on. And then we have got a fan heater just here. We've got a small dehumidifier there. We keep the hoover here, and that is the pump, if I remember rightly, isn't that the pump for the awning? So that's how we organise that. Right, it's not necessarily a bit of organisation, it's just something really good. This does actually slide out, so it makes the table a little bit bigger. We do have a bigger table that's kept in the bathroom, but this is, every place has to have it, a junk drawer. But I like to think that it is fairly organised, because it's surprising how many of those thingamajigs, what's the names, you know what, all those sort of terms I use to hubby is what goes in here. Batteries, things like Velcro, which is like for the curtains, gizmos, thingamajigs, glass cleaners, no nails glue, tape measure, another sewing kit. Yeah, we've got stuff for scratch remover. That belongs to
the light for the awning.
There we are. Corks, yeah, that is because I wanted some corks, because we don't drink wine. Couldn't find anybody at the time, because we've got the needles and everything, and the special twine. That's for the buttons on the sofas. These are leather. Hubby actually replaced all the buttons. We got these buttons from eBay, I believe it was, wasn't it? Because they did have cream, but they were like covered in material. They weren't proper buttons, so we decided that we would have the brown buttons, because if they're going to show up, we might as well have them stand out, and I particularly like the dark brown ones, so that's why we've got these, and the corks are to go on the ends of the large needles for threading them through. Spare glasses for hubby. I said it's all these sort of things, super glue, tape, and then got this. I think this might come from Home Bargains, I'd like to think, and it's one of those that's two-way. Again, we use a lot of the command strips and things, and there's extra buttons in there, and suckers and everything, you know, and they're like cable tidiers. It's all the sort of things. And then got these pads things that we put on the bottoms of coasters, or anything that we don't want, you know, to scratch. So yeah, it is quite a large junk drawer, but it's a case of bits and pieces, have them all in one place. Again, it's like the wardrobe for larger things. If it's anything to do with itty bitty things, this is the first point of call for everything, and everything is actually in the Caravan. We do have a toolbox that's in the front of the Caravan outside, so if we need any tools, but literally everything's here if we need to. And a lot of these came from, I think most of these came from, I'd like to say, B&M. So, and we've got them in different sizes. It just helps corral everything. And then this second drawer here, coasters are here. I did have coasters much this, but they went funny after a while, so we keep the coasters because we want to save our unit here. And then we keep the placemats. This folder here is whenever we've been somewhere, we keep the maps, like Caister-on-Sea, because that way we can circle which pictures we like, which pictures we don't want, or whatever, just for further reference. We also keep any instruction manuals in here, and maps to all the different sites we've been, like I said, and manuals. So that's why we keep them in here. We keep word search in here, and then I've got like the adults colouring book here as well. They all generally stay in here. that is a postcard that I got from Port Isaac, and I just put it in a Poundland frame, and usually I have this out. It says it's got to be a caravan holidays for me. And then I've got a couple of little kits here if I want anything to do, if I haven't got any crafting or want to sit and do anything. And that's just playing cards and more earphones. We seem to have earphones everywhere in the caravan, but it's surprising if there's 3 or 4 adults or whatever got different devices on and you don't want to hear each other, you've got the earphones. So that is that. Then at the bottom in here we have got fire blanket, we have got the fire extinguisher, and we've got emergency light under there and torch. Say what I call the emergency cabinet. And then when it's not in use, we have got the additional extension plugs that normally goes outside in the awning when we have the awning. It's just surprising how many things need charging up with hubby's Siggy, the GoPro, phones, everything like that. It's surprising. Sometimes, I say, when there's more than a couple of adults, everything needs to get plugged in, and usually we find that things get plugged in the evening. So I think that about covers everything. There's always some little spot that I always forget, but hopefully you're enjoying this and get some ideas, whether it's for a caravan, a motorhome, or even your own home. I am going to start doing an organisation series for our home. Starting with the kitchen, which has been requested, and it's been on my list for some time, but I wanted to get this out the way, especially as it's not been very nice today. It's been raining off and on. So hopefully you've enjoyed this second part. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.